Welcome inside the William N. Perry Gymnasium. I'm Kyle Smith for the HETV Game of the Week, where the Barrington Broncos will take on the Conant Cougars. Now, Conant is 5-0 in Midwest Suburban League, the West Division play, and Barrington is only 1-4 in conference play, but they're 11-9 overall. One of the reasons for Barrington's recent struggles is the turnovers. They committed 7 turnovers in the first quarter alone against Friend. Now Conant, they're led by point guard Jimmy Sotos, who was a junior. He had 17 points in their win last weekend against Hoffman Estates. Ryan Davis is great inside the paint. He starts at center tonight for Conant. For Barrington, we talked about turnovers, which is always key. And watch out for Will Reinhardt. He's their good scorer for the Barrington team. Barrington against Conant coming up next.
At this time, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. For the Barrington Broncos, at guard number 10, Mickey O'Donnell. For the Cougars, at guard number 3, Jimmy Sotos. For the Broncos, at forward number 15, Brett Budzek. For the Cougars, at guard number 11, Brandon Vinson. For the Broncos, at guard number 20, Ben Weber. For the Cougars, at forward, number 15, Mike Downing. For the Broncos, at center, number 22, Ethan Small. For the Cougars, at forward, number 22, Ben Scholes. For the Broncos, at center, number 32, Will Reinhardt. And for the Cougars, at forward, number 25, Ryan Davis. Broncos are coached by Ryan Tucker. Cougars are coached by Tom Warwick and Bruce Lindgren. This game, tonight's game, we have Bill DePue, Stan Mitchell, and Donald Williams.
All right, well, the game's about to start. Another edition of Saturday Night Hardcourt. I'm Kyle Smith along with Bruce Anderson as the Conant Cougars are going to take on the Barrington Broncos. And, of course, tomorrow the Broncos take on the Patriots. Who do you think is going to win that one?
I'm hoping for the Broncos, but it'll probably be the Patriots. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see, of course. It might be Peyton Manning's last ever start
It could
in the
be.
NFL, so it'll be an interesting one. But tonight we have the high school edition of the Broncos in their bright red jerseys. The Cougars are in the white and blue. And as the tip-off's about to begin between Ryan Davis and Will Reinhardt. Tip-off one, and it goes
And
off.
lost.
And it goes off the fingertips of Ben Scholes, and it's going to be Barrington ball. Well, like we talked, yeah.
So Barrington kind of having a hard time this year. Not the typical Barrington team that we've seen in years past.
Sure don't look like it on that possession. One pass and a shot, and it goes in. 3-0 Broncos.
Nice field goal there for Will Reinhardt.
You know, shot clock is always important and about waiting to get that shot, but if it's there, why not? Be aggressive and keep the defense on their toes. Barrington doesn't take their time. They just take the first shot, and it goes in.
A little bit of a force there by Jimmy Sotos.
Reinhardt guarded close by Davis. Wide open mid-range shot, no good. Rebounded. Nice job there by Vincent.
Good hustle by Barrington so far. Three-pointer off the rim. Jimmy right there.
And Davis was fouled from behind. Layup no good. He'll shoot 2 free throws. He's just so demonizing inside, isn't he? He's just 6'9" and everything of that height. Plus the weight too. It's just so hard to guard him inside the paint.
Big boy. Oh.
But as we've seen with power forwards in the centers, big boys aren't necessarily the greatest free throw shooters. But Davis, he's a pretty good one though. Just missed that one.
A little too much power on that. Got that one.
If you ever want to learn about the art of free throw shooting, never take the tips of DeAndre Jordan. That one's no good, goes out of bounds. Barrington will remain in possession.
Good defense there for the Cougars.
Well, it seems like the game plan tonight for the Broncos to test that really tough Conant defense. They're just going to attack and just see what the conditioning is of this Conant team. As that one was a kind of a lucky break. It was deflected away. But then 22, Ethan Small was able to get the layup. So far an early Bronco lead. How about you think about this, Bruce? They're not showing any kind of fright whatsoever. They're just attacking this Conant defense.
And they're doing it well. Good hustle. Davis, he's got all the Conant points. 5-3 now, Barrington the ball.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And as we saw last weekend, Ryan Davis was just too tough for Hoffman Estates to guard. He only had 13 points, but add on to 6 or 7 rebounds. And he just didn't have to shoot that much because Soto's was making all his shots last week for the Cougars.
Good player for as young as he is.
So 5-3, Barrington on top by 2.
Chance for Conant to tie it up here.
Double teamed on the play. Deflected away, goes to Downing. Downing reverse layup is good. And a risky pass goes off Reinhardt. And it's going to be out of bounds. So far, Barrington's played almost a perfect basketball game, but I didn't like that pass. It seemed like it was well contested, and it went out of bounds.
Excellent hustle on both ends there for Downing. Seen him make a couple of plays here so far.
We're all tied at 5, all the fingers on my hands, except for the 6-finger man from the movie The Princess Bride. I also charge $2 for every cultural reference that you'll hear tonight.
Let me know when you have one.
As driving to the lane is Sotos, brings it to Downing. Downing double team, but able to break it. 7-5, Conant back on top. First lead for the Cougars tonight.
And Downing looking good again. Nice handoff there by Jimmy Sotos.
Pump fake by Reinhardt, fouled on the play. He'll go to the free throw line. Once again, they're just attacking the paint, and anytime there's an open shot, they're just going to take it. They're not going to, as we saw from Hoffman Estates try to do a little bit too much ball movement, try to get that picture-perfect three-point shot. Not Barrington. They saw the film from last week. If a shot's open, take it, because there's not going to be that many when you go up against this Conant defense.
First is good.
Into the Broncos for 12, Anthony Span. Number 24, Jackson Perkins.
Conant with a bit of a height advantage, but it's not deterring Barrington at all so far. Reinhardt gets both ends.
Well, as we saw a couple of weeks, Bruce, that Barrington-Frem game, and many remember point guard Mickey O'Donnell. He wasn't the biggest guy in the world, but he was getting a lot of rebounds as he was hustling to the ball. So you never really go against Barrington's hustle. It's always there. It's just making sure to make the right kind of decisions on the court, not forcing turnovers, not committing them. And there's a pump fake by Downing inside the paint. Floater shot, no good. Last touched by
Barrington.
Yeah, it was last touched by O'Donnell, and O'Donnell was guarding Ryan Davis near the paint. How about that? And he did a pretty good job there, Bruce.
He's giving up like 8 inches.
And he just, good job there of guarding him. Keeping his body on the play, but it last went off O'Donnell's fingers. Cougar ball. Looks like it was last touched by Jackson Perkins. of Barrington, so will remain in possession of the Cougars as we're all tied at 7.
Foul again on O'Donnell.
So he'll have to go to the bench. Ben Weber takes a seat. O'Donnell, very good player, very good hustling player. Just got to work on that jump shot a little bit. Like
Foul away from the ball.
Either that or a moving screen. Personal foul.
So team fouls at 2 for each team.
Ryan Davis with his first one of the game, and watch out for that. One thing the Cougars can't have is Ryan Davis to be in foul trouble, because then Barrington can attack even more. No more height disadvantage to worry about. Passed inside. Downing, beautiful defense, but he got the shot up. Foul called against Downing. 2 more free throws for the Broncos.
So Barrington continuing to attack here.
Jackson Perkins goes to the line. He's 6'7", which is right up the alley of Mike Downing, so he's going to attack Downing. There's only an inch difference between Downing and Perkins. First free throw goes for Perkins. 8-7 is our score with 4:10 remaining in the first quarter. Second one, good. Perkins drains both, and it's 9-7 Broncos. As now it's Vinson with the ball. Vinson at the point, guarded closely by Weber. Back into the game is Weber. Couple of nifty moves by Sotos, and eventually goes out to Vinson on the right wing. Fakes the shot. Scholes passes it back out to Vinson. Vincent inside the paint, and he kicks it back out. And he'll reset the offense here.
Barrington showing a stout defense there.
And almost doubled Vinson there, but decided to go back to guarding Davis. Vinson, a lot of dribbling, not a lot of passing. And the Cougars are getting further and further away from the basket, as eventually it goes to Downing. Downing with the shot. Count it, and one.
Downing is just carrying this team so far tonight.
Well, Bruce, everything looked like it was going well for Barrington on that possession, but they fouled Downing. Don't foul, make him shoot that crazy circus shot, and if it goes in, great. It's 2 points for the Cougars, but now you put Downing on the line for a chance to make it a 3-point play.
And it is.
Plus, it's another team foul against you for the first half.
So 7 points for Downing so far.
Well, Downing, you just got to give him all the credit in the world on that one. That was a tough shot, goes in. But Barrington, watch out for those team fouls. If it's a fadeaway shot, try to not be as aggressive on defense. Pass it inside to Reinhardt, but he's double teamed. Tries to post up on Davis. Left-handed shot is good.
Nice roll there for Reinhardt.
Unlike most teams, Barrington kind of has a 2-center system. They'll use Jackson Perkins off the bench, and he'll play a little power forward center, and then Reinhardt can switch between the 4 and the 5.
Reinhardt with 7 points for the Broncos, and wow.
There's really not much that head coach Brian Tucker can do. He's coaching up good defense. That was a long 3-point shot, went off the backboard, and it went in. There's really nothing else you can do on that.
Wow, that was just a tremendous shot by Scholes. Good defense in the paint, keeping the ball outside. Took a long shot and just drained it.
I don't know if he's going to make that one again. I would sag off and see if he hits it again before I start really playing strict man-to-man defense, because that was a really tough shot by Scholes.
It was. And he made it look easy.
So far, Barrington, listen to me before the broadcast. They're not turning the ball over, and they're playing good, sound basketball, efficient basketball. Don't commit turnovers. Don't force bad passes. Just take what the defense gives you. And that was a bad shot there by Oducha coming off the bench. Barrington ball. We're under 2 minutes now in the first quarter. There's O'Donnell. Almost traveled, but he was able to step into his pass before dribbling. Ooh, nice move by Perkins. Right-handed hook shot. Oh, baby. 2 more points for the Broncos. We're all tied at 13. with 1:32 remaining. Vincent behind the three-point arc, guarded by O'Donnell. Drives, kicks it back out to Scholes. Scholes drives, has a little bit of room, and blocked by Perkins.
Checked it.
All ball block. Perkins says to Scholes, welcome to the block party. You get a one-way invitation. Picture perfect basketball as O'Donnell drives to the hoop, gets the pass. And that's 2 more points for the Broncos. 15-13 is our score.
Broncos with great hustle.
Derrick Rose, or should I say Brandon Minson, with a beautiful move to the basket, breaks through 2 people on defense and makes the layup. And then quickly the other way, the Broncos. And on the 2-point, 2 free throws for Anthony Spann as he draws the foul. Well, Barrington continues to be aggressive as right after Conant tied it up, Anthony Spann the other way, quickly in transition as he misses the first free throw there, but Barrington continues to attack. Bruce, do you think that Barrington has this for the next 3 quarters of just continuing to attack?
Gotta wonder if they can keep this up. So far, it's been looking really good. But we saw that from Hoffman Estates last week. They had a great first quarter and then just tailed off.
The difference, though, is better ball movement from Barrington and taking what the defense can give you. Hoffman Estates just tried to get too many picture-perfect shots. Didn't really try to get anything in the mid-range game.
And Barrington showing the kind of defense we're used to seeing from Conant.
Both teams playing very good basketball. Inside the paint, tries to get Oducha. Oducha try to get the shot off, and it looks like Perkins got his wrist, which is, of course, illegal in the game of basketball.
Just being friendly.
Little tap on the wrist. Chimo Oducha, first free throw. Ooh, how about that? That was nice. Wow. Who says the big man can't shoot free throws?
Noah's not the only one with an arc. That was a heck of an arc on that one.
Of course, he's talking about Joakim Noah, who is unfortunately out for the next 4 to 6 months. And it might be done as a Chicago Bull.
So Ducho hitting 1 of 2.
At least he gets to choose his own pathway out of town, whereas David Blatt got a one-way ticket out of town yesterday. Former head coach of the Cavaliers.
16-16 tie game. 16 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, almost didn't handle that pass. Budzik, I should say. Bat to Budzik. Budzik fakes the shot. Nice picture-perfect basketball. 2 passes, and it goes inside to Reinhardt. Barrington back on top. At the buzzer, floater shot. No good from Vincent. And the Broncos lead 18-16 heading into the second quarter.
Well, Will Reinhardt just carrying this Broncos team. He's got 9 points, whereas Downing has 7 for the Cougars.
Well, Bruce, you talked about that this isn't necessarily what kind of basketball we see from Barrington. They've struggled a little bit in conference play 1 and 4, but sometimes it takes time in the season to develop that team chemistry. They really seem in sync tonight.
They do. They're looking good. Hitting on all cylinders. Not giving Conant anything.
And Conant looks pretty good as well. What do they need to do on defense, though, to try to slow down the Broncos?
Good question. This isn't the kind of defense that we're used to seeing from Conant. Barrington's just slicing through them like a hot knife through butter.
18-16 is our score as the second quarter is about to begin. Both teams have used their benches a little bit frequently as Oducha is on the court for the Cougars. Now entering the game is 34, Eli Polavina.
Michael Downing, the Conant leading scorer, is going to start off with a little rust on the bench.
And countering that for the Broncos, Perkins has 4. Reinhardt, the leading scorer, takes a seat.
Davis also on the pine, or the plastic, as the case may be.
Back out to Sotos. We haven't seen Jimmy Sotos a lot. We'll see if Tom McCormick drew up some plays for him going into the break.
Sotos has been passing off to others. He's been creating, but not for himself.
Double team. Vincent in trouble. Vincent almost travels, but nice job keeping his composure and not committing a turnover.
Able to split that double team and get the pass away.
And a lot of tough defense on Sotos. He just hasn't been able to create any kind of separation off the dribble. Sotos guarded close by Span. Sotos drives, runs out of room, a couple of pump fakes. And there's the Jimmy Sotos we all know and love, is able to create his own shot off the pump fake. In the air, beautiful floater shot. We're all tied at 18.
And he was triple teamed on that one, heavily contested, but got it to drop.
Jackson Perkins just too tough inside, makes another one. I think it's just one of those cases, Bruce, where Perkins could easily start for this team, but he's such a demon off the bench. It just creates other problems for other teams because they're just not used to that kind of size off the bench as a six-man.
So Tom McCormick calls timeout. He wants to talk things over. Not the kind of game they were expecting.
Yeah. On the stat sheet, Barrington 1-4 in conference play. Conant unblemished, 5-0 record, but when these teams play, you kind of just put the conference records to the side, and especially Barrington, a very good athletic program. And 20-18 is our score, and they definitely look like a team more in sync than the one we saw a couple of weeks ago against Palatine. No more turnovers, better ball movement, and anytime they see a crease, they're attacking.
They are. Fremd looked like the far superior team against Barrington, and Barrington just showing us something totally different here tonight.
Isn't it funny how when you play better with the pumpkin and you don't turn the pumpkin over, you have a better chance of winning basketball games. 20-18 is our score, 6:40 remaining in the first half. Sotos fakes a drive and then shoots the three-point shot.
Wow.
Right in Anthony Span's face. Conant back on top by one.
So Sotos getting it going here.
Span guarded by Sotos. Wide open mid-range shot for Reinhardt, no good. Over the back rebound. And Barrington remains in possession. They'll reset their offense here.
Nice rebound there by Small, no shot.
Yep.
Travel.
Everything about that drive was kind of bad from the get-go, as he couldn't really set his feet. And then once he knew that he was in the air, he tried to shoot it, but nope, that's a travel. Ups and downs is the other word for it. Sotos finds Scholes in the corner. The corner three for Scholes is good. Conant leads by 4.
2 field goals for Scholes.
3-pointers, we should say. As Span with the ball.
Conant offense just starting to click now.
Right off the foot off Scholes. Sotos the other way, fakes the pass, drives in, draws the foul. Span fouled him, and 2 more shots for the Cougars. Jimmy Sotos to the line.
Sotos just spun around on that. Went down kind of awkwardly, but doesn't look like he's hurt.
Timeout looks like it was called by Brian Tucker of the Broncos.
Yep, things have just started going south for him. Good timeout, got to talk it over, see if they can regroup.
Well, Conant, they're 5-0 in conference play. They've had a couple of scares. Right before the new year, we saw that game against Fred, where Fred led for most of the game, and then that Conant defense was able to get in kind of the heads of those Fred players. Those mid-range shots that they made in the first half didn't really fall for Fred. That was the biggest scare for Conant this season. But if there's a way to beat this Conant team, if you got players that are well-conditioned, attack, attack, attack. And it worked well in the first quarter for Barrington. But like I said, you got to be really conditioned, and the second, third, and fourth quarter, it's hard to really keep that pressure on that Conant defense.
That's right. Let's see what they're able to do here.
First shot for Sotos is good. 25-20 is our score. 6 more points for the young junior point guard. All conference. That one's no good. Rebounded by Downing. Downing shot doesn't go. Gets the rebound. Not good. Downing to the line for 2 more free throws.
So Downing creating for himself and his team there under the bucket.
He also created his own hairdo. How about that yellow hair? Looking good. Looking good out there, Mike Downing. That one is no good. Off the front end of the rim. Goes out. Perkins back in the game for the Broncos.
So Downing 1-1 on his first attempt.
Reinhardt, watch out for Reinhardt. They're probably going to keep going to him to try to get out of this funk they're in. 9 points for Reinhardt thus far in the game.
That's 8 for Downing.
Downing at 12 points and 7 rebounds in that win against the Hoffman Estates Hawks. Wide open three-point shot. No good. Rebounded by Conant. One of the reasons this Barrington team has struggled in conference play, three-point shooting. They just don't have a lot of good sharpshooters from beyond the arc.
And Soto's creating again.
I guess Soto's listened to us and he got mad because he's just come out in the second quarter by being more aggressive in terms of shot taking.
He might have put him to sleep in the first quarter, and their defense has gotten slack on him. He's certainly come alive here.
Just seems like this Barrington team knows where everybody is on the floor. Very quick passes. Good defense by Conant, but when you have picture-perfect passing, it's hard to defend that. Reinhardt got to the line, misses the first free throw, though.
Checking in for the Cougars, number 11, Brandon Benson.
So Ben Scholl's going to sit down.
Daniel Ronaldo into the game.
So Reinhardt not able to get either of those.
Deflected away. Reinhardt tries to beat Davis. Davis gets the ball. Jump ball. Possession arrow. Goes to the Broncos.
I believe it. Well, they flipped that arrow pretty quick, because as soon as I looked over there, it was pointing at Conant. So next time it goes to Conant.
Well, in hindsight, if Davis had time to call a timeout there, would have been sufficient. It's just so hard to get possession of the ball, know to call a timeout, and to make sure to do it, use the T signal without turning the ball over. A lot easier said than done.
Yes, it is, especially when you're laying on the floor, wrestling for the ball. Oh, great defense there. Downing knocks it away.
Great defense, even better knee pads. Always stylish, Mike Downing. Well, what worked for Barrington in the first quarter, not working so much in the second, as that defense in the paint for the Cougars, creating a lot of havoc for the Broncos. Perkins gets the rebound. And an easy shot goes in off the rebound for Perkins. Soto's guarded by the opposing point guard, O'Donnell. They're trying to trap him in the right wing corner. Wide open is Davis. Davis makes the wide open layup, and Conant back up on top by 8 points.
That's 5 points for Davis so far.
Wide open, and inside to Reinhardt, misses the open layup. The other way go the Cougars. In transition, Perkins fouled him from behind, reach-in foul.
In the first quarter, everything was dropping for Reinhardt. In the second period, nada. Reinhardt having a hard time of it here.
Barrington has a disadvantage when it comes to the point differential, and they also have a disadvantage when it comes to team fouls. That's their 7th, and that puts Mr. Ronaldo on the line for a 1-and-1. First one is good by Ronaldo.
Nothing but net.
The junior guard's only 5'10", but has a lot of heart. That's why he gets some minutes from head coach Tom McCormick. Second one no good, rebounded. Ooh, almost stepped on the end line there. And Barrington has their biggest deficit of the night, 9 points.
Ronaldo trying to get his own rebound there. Then going for the steal, not able to do it.
Mid-range shot by Reinhardt, no good, rebounded by Perkins. Perkins
loses it, he's stripped
away and
out of bounds on Conant.
Goes off the hands of Nikola Todorov.
Great hustle there under the basket.
Shimo Ducha back in the game.
Conant's got a few tongue twisters there on their team.
Reinhardt tries to post up. Wanted a foul called against Oducha, but the officials say it was a clean block, and Jimmy Sotos eventually gets it. Sotos Passes half court, gives it out to Vinson. Vinson with it to Ornalo, and then Soto's on the right wing. Pump fake by Soto's mid-range shot.
A thing of beauty.
As it's going to go, it is a timeout by Brian Tucker as Conant is in full control of this one now. They're up by 11.
I hate to ask, Kyle, but do you think Barrington's getting tuckered out?
You know, I should have felt that was coming, but you know, I was just so keyed on the game. I didn't think one of your awesome puns was within range, but I guess I should have known.
It's O-pun season when I'm around.
33-22. Well, is Barrington all tuckered out? I think so, Bruce. That intensity they had in the first quarter, you just can only do it for so long, and then that Conant defense, they just keep coming at you, and they just keep coming at you. And when you have a size advantage like Mike Downing and Ryan Davis, you can sag off a little bit because they're there for help defense in case if they drive to the lane.
And while Reinhardt's getting the good looks and the good shots, they're just not falling for him.
He's getting the mid-range shots, so when it comes to those post-up games, those one-on-one stuff that he had in the first quarter, you're kind of seeing Mike Downing come to help out a little bit on Davis. It's not like they don't trust Davis, they just know how good of a player Reinhardt is, and they're not taking any chances.
And they've been able to shut him down here this period. 3:03 left. Cougars back out on the court. Here come the Broncos.
No surprise, Jackson Perkins is back in the game. You think that they should draw up some plays for Perkins? He's been really tough to beat today.
He has. He's been really good. He's got 8 points so far. Between him and Reinhardt are the only ones really scoring.
Well, they got
Span has 1, O'Donnell has 2, Small has 2.
They never had problems in that front court. It's just they can't hit those open corner threes, and that's really putting them in a problem when Conant has good shooters like Jimmy Soto's. And of course, Ben Scholes has hit a couple of threes. That one's no good off the back iron. Rebounded by Barrington. Weber gets his own rebound. Reinhardt fakes the pass to Perkins. O'Donnell fakes the pass, drives to the lane, finds Reinhardt. Reinhardt drives hard to the hole, fouled by Oducha.
Just great hustle there by Weber. He shoots the 3 and then gets in there and gets his own rebound. Don't see that very often.
Just very good coaching by Brian Tucker. He knows that he has a disadvantage for a lot of conference games when it comes to his backcourt. But the disadvantage, he kind of hones that into the players and says, more hustle. Hustle to that ball, try to get your own rebound, and we'll reset and see if we can get something closer to the basket.
And Reinhardt only able to hit 1 of 2 there.
33-23 is our score as we're under 3 minutes now in the first half. Soto's double team, beats the double team, drives to the hoop, gives it to Davis. Davis inside the lane, posts up, misses the shot. The Broncos the other way, 1-on-3.
Oh, blocked.
Blocked by Soto's. Use both hands on that thunderous block.
And I have to ask on the Barrington steal, how is it that there are 3 Conant Cougars back there on defense? Just great hustle out there for the Cougars.
Barrington is not stopping attacking, though. It was a disadvantage, 1-on-3. But they knew that Conant was on their heels, and they're going to try something new. If it doesn't work, we know not to do that again.
Vincent able to stick his hand in there, knock the ball away. Oh, just can't get that one to go.
And Barrington's going to slow it down here. Weber double teamed inside of Perkins. Perkins posts up. Ooh, just doesn't go in.
The Barrington shooting has just gone cold.
Sicardi fakes the shot. Oducha, and he'll pass it out to Soto's. And he'll set up a play here for the offense. Soto's drives. Soto's to the lane. Makes it. And he'll go to the line. 35-23. Conant leads by a dozen.
Soto's really shut down in the first period, and he's put it into high gear here. He's got 12 points for the Cougars.
12 points for Soto's, and to counter him for the Broncos, 12 points for Reinhardt. Now 13 for Soto's. 36-23 as Soto's made the and one free throw. Almost went off the foot there. And now it's out to the left wing. Back out, three-point shot by Reinhardt, no good. And fouled from behind, it looks like Zaccardi. Looks like he fouled Budzik. And that is the 7th team foul by the Cougars, so Perkins will go to the line to shoot a 1-and-1.
And you just have to wonder how Reinhardt has gone so cold here in this period. He's gotten good looks, gotten some open shots, and nothing's falling for him.
Just how basketball is sometimes, Bruce. You can be the greatest shooter in the world, and even Michael Jordan had his off night. Sometimes it just doesn't fall through.
Blasphemer.
And not a good foul there as Spann played too aggressively. As he pushed Sotos from behind, Sotos goes to the line. And those might be, assuming that Sotos makes both free throws here, those might be 2 points that Barrington would love to have back, especially if they're going to try to mount a comeback attempt in the second half.
You've got to wonder why you want Sotos at the line.
He's been great so far. I don't think he's missed a free throw yet. Yeah. Another one goes for the talented point guard. Full name James Soto, stands at 6'2" tall, 170 pounds. I'm beating him in weight, but not so much in height.
And 2 for 2.
It's just gone from bad to worse for the Broncos. They were so good in the first quarter. There's a reason Conant's 5-0 in conference play. It's just a lot to handle for 4 quarters. You really need really good three-point shooting to beat this team.
Conant very consistent. Oh, over the back.
Sotos knows that was too aggressive. And that is a key 1-and-1 as Ben Weber goes to the line. Got to have these free throws if you're a Barrington Bronco fan.
Weber, a few shots, but no points yet.
He's had a tough night, Bruce. Missed a couple of three-pointers, and he tried to drive to the lane, and Jimmy Sotos was said, not today, mister. Both-handed block on the layup attempt from Weber.
So there's one. One for Ben.
In terms of Weber, I don't think he's grilling it tonight.
No, he's been kind of cold. So Weber now with 2 points.
Full court defense. Barrington remains aggressive. Finds Oducha. Fouled hard by Perkins.
And a no-look pass there by Sotos.
Do you agree with that full court press, Bruce? You're down 13 points. You know that you don't want to give up another free throw attempt, and that this puts Conant in the double bonus. And I don't know if I agree with that full court press there.
Well, they had to do something. Had to change it up. Worth a try. Didn't work.
Unfortunately, it led to a man advantage for Conant, and Oducha had the layup, got fouled on the play, and he misses both. Well, luck's out for Barrington as he misses both free throws, but floater in the lane, no good.
Barrington just not able to buy a bucket here.
No shot clock in Illinois. Only 8 states have it. They have 30-second shot clock. Now back on the floor, number 33, Coralie Averance de Chazer. And it's stolen away.
Anthony Spann able to get his hands on that.
Ben Weber fakes the 3, drives to the lane, draws the foul, stops the clock with 20.9 seconds left. Weber will shoot a 1-and-1. That's the 9-team foul against the Cougars.
So Weber not able to hit from the court, but he's been getting it done from the free throw line.
He's got a nice.
There's another one.
32, Dana Hollow. For the Broncos, number 3, Justin Spiegel. And number 30, Blake Goswine.
Like Gus Wine into the game, an even 6 foot. He's going to graduate next year. 38-27 as Sotos will hold the ball for the last shot. We assume so anyways.
Ben Weber.
Weber thought he had the steal, but just misjudged it, and Vincent got the ball off the risky pass from Sotos. Vincent draws the foul. 2 free throws for Vincent.
So both teams still hustling.
Bruce, just for people that are listening to today's game, how do you play good defense without fouling? Especially when it comes to an opponent trying to shoot over you.
It's tough, especially when you're getting tired. First one is good for Vincent.
Obviously, you want to try to go straight up, but it's just so hard, especially when I think the hardest part is when they lean into you and you try to go straight up, but if any kind of arching downwards towards the wrist, and they're going to call a foul against you.
And when the man has a height advantage on you,
it's even harder.
Exactly.
39-27 as the Cougars lead by a dozen into halftime. We'll be back for the second half of action for the HGTV Game of the Week after this break. Well, welcome back as the second half is about to start. I hope you've had your hot dog or your halftime coffee. English tea, do people have English tea at halftime, Bruce?
In Barrington, they probably do.
Well, the second half's about to begin, and, well, Barrington played well in the first quarter, Bruce, but the second quarter, it was all Conant Cougars.
It was. They outscored the Broncos 23-9 there in the second period. So Barrington had things going their way in the first period, but Conant was able to stick right with them, and then they just put their foot on the gas and never let up in the second period.
Now we're in the third quarter. Scholes with it, back out to Vincent. Vincent fakes the corner three, kicks it back out to Sotos. Sotos double team, breaks it, drives in the lane, finds Downing. Downing to the hoop, good. 41-27 is our score now. Downing with the basket, Sotos with the assist.
10 points for Downing so far.
And fouled from behind. Reinhardt missed the shot, got his own rebound. Fouled from behind, he'll head to the line. He had 12 points at half.
We'll have to see if Barrington's been rejuvenated by that little halftime break.
They got to be able to get, they've been great at getting it to the paint. Now let's try to get something, three-point shots, kicking it out, and see if you can get some corner threes to go down. Now you don't want to live and die in the three-point shot, but you can't live and die by going to the paint all the time either.
Well, they've been getting good looks. They've had some good wide-open three attempts, and they're just not dropping.
Reinhardt's second one goes through. Back up to 12. That's the lead for the Cougars. 7:30 remaining in the third quarter. Sotos gets it to Scholes. Scholes, a crossover move, back out to Sotos. Sotos, by the half-court line, gives it to Davis. Davis, wide open three, no good, rebounded by Reinhardt. Barrington the other way in transition.
I think that three hit every part of the rim, just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
Nice pass, and Butterfingers goes off the fingers of Anthony Spann.
Just didn't have enough wingspan to pull that in.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Span.
I tried to think of a spick and span pun, but I couldn't think of any. Goes out to Sotos, pass half court. Dangerous pass to Davis, but Reinhardt wasn't able to get the steal. Vincent on it now. At the point. Gives it out to Scholes on the right wing. And Scholes resets. Crossover and gives it out to Sotos. Sotos crossover Span, mid-range shot, highly contested. I just don't know what Anthony Spann can do, Bruce. That's the third contested shot that's gone in for Sotos.
17 points for Sotos so far.
Nice post-up move by Reinhardt. Draws the foul. 2 free throws for Reinhardt. Well, Bruce, if everybody had the size and charisma of Will Reinhardt, Barrington would be undefeated, but unfortunately you can't find many people as athletic as Will Reinhardt. And right now they trail by 14 points.
And Reinhardt getting it going here in the third period.
The closest player to him would be Jackson Perkins, who's back on the bench. Probably going to be checking in the next minute or two. Ethan Small right now is at power forward, and he's a little bit smaller than Downing, who's 6'8".
No pun intended.
Every bit intended. Benjamin Scholes with it. He plays a little two guard for Conant. He also plays small forward.
Reinhardt with 4 points from the charity stripe here in the third period.
Right now he's at the small forward, Vincent at the 2. And that one's going to be, how about that? Scholes was able to get it. Timeout called. And it was either him or Tom McCormick that issued it.
Tom McCormick had that.
I thought he did because I didn't see Scholes was able to get the T signal out.
Cougars take a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout called by Mr. McCormick. The assistant coach is Bruce Hildebrand. As my Sharpie cap fell off. Fan nicely gave it to me. Thank you very much. 43-31 is our score. And Conant will remain in possession. As the officials are telling Barrington, the 30-second timeout's done. Time to get back on the court. As Soto tells his teammates, watch out for the full court press.
So no personal fouls for Barrington so far, 2 for Conant.
Ooh, almost traveled there, but nice composure by Todorov to not walk before he dribbled. Now Scholes with it, back to Vincent. Vincent guarded, and it goes back out to Scholes. As Scholes is guarded by Budzik. Back out to Vincent on the corner. He gives it back out to Soto. Soto spin move, a beautiful spin move by Soto. Gets to the point, double teamed. Gets it inside to Todorov. Downing tries to post up. Stepped on the end line, Bronco ball. I think if you're head coach Tom McCormick, you'd love to see Todorov be more aggressive there. He had nobody guarding him at the free throw line. Just shoot that mid-range jumper, you know. If you're that open, just shoot it.
Yeah, I was surprised he passed that ball off.
I know that Downing's had the hot hand, but that might have been a trap play by the Broncos as they had help defense all the way on Downing there.
They were all over him. Good double team, wasn't able to get anything off.
So Conant, just learn from it next time and have other guys shoot it. Don't rely on Downing for every possession inside the paint. That one by Spann, no good. 3-on-1 advantage the other way. Vincent passes to Downing. Downing, easy layup, good. Beautiful job of running the fast break there by Vincent. Of course, Vincent's a senior, so he showed his senior leadership on that one as he saw the man advantage and gave it to the red-hot Downing inside.
And Downing just so good underneath the net.
Off the screen, Sotos tries to steal it away. Passes it out. Wide open was Reinhardt, but Davis was able to get his hands up in the air and deflect that pass.
Looked like they were playing pinball there for a moment.
Vincent, another shot at a three-pointer.
Oh, he's got it.
Bring it up, 3 points for Vincent. An assist at a three-pointer in a span of about 20 seconds. Timeout for Tucker. And this one's not over yet, Bruce, but man, it just seems like everything's going right for the Cougars right now.
It is. They put their foot on the gas and they're just pulling away. Barrington's still having trouble scoring. They're getting some good looks, some good shots, and they're just not falling.
Well, what do you try to draw up now, Bruce? You just try to do some more dribble drive, try to kick it back out for corner 3, or do you just try to attack the paint and then on defense just do a full court press and see if the Cougars, commit some turnovers?
Well, driving to the basket worked so well for them in the first period. I'd go back to that. If they just may not have the energy to be able to pull it off much more.
Well, we were talking about that as we saw so much energy from the Broncos. And they're probably a very conditioned unit, but as we saw, Conant is too. So attacking can only work so much, and when you can't hit the outside shot, and Conant can, a 2-point deficit can turn into 15 points. Before you know it, now it's 17-point deficit for the Broncos.
And Conant just so good in all phases of the game. Their defense is sound, their offense is clicking. It's just tough not to be Conant.
They're going to be a very good team to watch, and Frem too in the regionals. I'd like to see how far they can go. If Conant can play this hard-nosed defense, they have a shot at making it to sectionals.
They do. I expect to see them there. Sectionals, maybe state.
Ooh, all the way to state, huh? How about that? Bold prediction by Bruce.
Stated by Bruce.
Oh, man. And there's Spann, guarded by Scholes. Bad pass. And I think that Barrington is kind of in panic mode. It doesn't seem like they're in sync right now on offense.
When you put a pass over Perkins' head, he's 6'7", just barely able to get a fingertip on it. That's a bad pass.
And they're double teaming Soto's. Soto's such a good point guard. Found Downing again. Downing reverse layup. That might be the dagger. It's 19 points now with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, and Barrington doesn't really show anything of any good shooting from the perimeter lately. They're going to have to knock down some shots from the perimeter in order to get back into this one.
Looks like they spent it all in the first period.
Well, if basketball games were won after the first quarter of intensity, the Bulls might be undefeated. And lack of communication there as Reinhardt and Perkins were wide open, but they just attacked on the layup. And that was a hard foul. I think that was just accidental. I don't know if he really had meant to do that, but it's going to be a foul called against number 15, Brett Budzik. 3 shots for Scholes. I think he was just trying to contest the shot and either tripped or just kind of had too much momentum going on his front side and ran into Scholes there.
But he helps Scholes out. He had a hard shot. Now he's got 3 easy ones. Makes the first and the second. Scholes had 2 field goals prior to this.
Spiegel on the court now. Justin Spiegel. 6'1". He's going to graduate this year. 53-31. Timeout. Not a timeout. The official's going to reset.
Scholes hits all 3.
And McCormick can kind of sense that this one might be an easy Conant win. He takes Scholes off. Have him sit for a couple minutes. See if the bench players can put this one away.
Another bad pass there by Barrington where they didn't turn it over in the first period. They're turning it over here right and left.
Zagardi checked into the game for Scholes. Zagardi is a senior, 6 foot even. As Vincent passes out to Soto. Soto's he draws the foul there. Weber thought it might have been a flop, but I think he hit him a little too hard on the ball there to be all ball. I think he got some of the wrist. Only the second team foul from the Broncos. 2 team fouls from the Cougars. Inside to Downing. Downing gets his defender up in the air, but isn't able to hit the layup. 53-31. Nothing has gone right for Barrington since the first quarter, really.
There's a 3.
3-pointer shot, good by O'Donnell. Bad pass, kept in. Nice job there by Spiegel off the bench. O'Donnell, another 3. O'Donnell, no good. O'Donnell tried to save it, but the ball went on the end line before he was able to get to it. Conant ball.
Mickey O'Donnell, still good hustle.
Things would have gotten a little interesting, Bruce, if he had made that 3.
Yes, it would.
It would have been 53-37, but he doesn't go, and it's still a 19-point lead for the Cougars.
See O'Donnell huffing and puffing a little bit out there.
Think he's going to blow our house down?
I don't think so, but he's going to leave it all out there, that's for sure.
And it's going to be Conant ball, 53-34. Kind of consents blood. Let's see if they can get up all the way up to 70 points in this one.
Downing getting double teamed under the basket again.
Well, there's no such thing as a 19-point shot, so if the Broncos want to get into this one, every possession at a time, play good defense. And maybe they should trade for Jimmy Soto's because, man, is he hard to defend.
He certainly is. He had nothing in the first period, and he's got 20 points now.
Reinhardt trying to get hot again. That's his second. I mean, he has 18 points, a 2-point field goal for Reinhardt, but Barrington trails by 20. Soto's with the nifty little dribbles. Gives it out to Vincent. Vincent out to Todorov. Todorov back to Vincent. Soto's calls for it. Stolen away by O'Donnell. O'Donnell tries to look up, sees nobody, and he'll reset. Inside. and then fouled from behind. Todorov fouled him. Nikola Todorov is a senior, stands at 6'5", 195 pounds.
1:21 left here in the third period.
As Mike Downing looks to get back in the game. And it looks like Jackson Perkins for the Broncos.
Looks like the ref might have gotten run into. He's walking it off there along the sideline.
It's not going to be Perkins. It's going to be Eli Polavina. He's going to take the inbounds pass to the Broncos here as they really need a basket here. They trailed by 20. Pass to O'Donnell. He gives it out to Polavina. Polavina fakes the three-point shot out to the corner to Spann. Spann double teamed. Long pass to O'Donnell. Nobody was there. Turnover caused by the Broncos.
Small not looking for that ball, and it just went right past him.
Soto's on the dribble. He'll kick it out to Vincent on the left wing. Todorov finds Downing. Downing to the hoop. Fouled hard from behind. Hit hard on the back. And the Broncos, once again, are going to be trailing by 22 points if Downing can hit both free throws here. They trailed 22 about a minute ago when Ben Scholes hit all three of his free throws. First one good by Downing. How about that? 20 points for Jimmy Sotos. Man, is he good.
He is. And that's 16 there for Downing. Conant with three guys you got to guard, and except for the first period, pretty much Will Reinhardt for Barrington.
And finally it goes in for Spann. Been a tough game for Spann. He's had to guard Sotos, and he hasn't been able to create separation for most of the game when he's had the ball at the two-guard position.
Perkins was hot in the first quarter and just nothing much since then.
Soto's with it. He's going to hold for the last shot. No need to rush it. And tries to do the alley-oop. That's not exactly how you draw it up for an alley-oop, but all that matters is you got 2 points out of it. That's 2 more points for Downing, the assist from Sotos.
No style points.
59 to 38. Hard to believe, Bruce, but this game was 18-16 Barrington. And since then, Tom McCormick and Conant has played another level of great basketball.
They have. They've just found another gear, and even when Barrington was hot, Conant able to stay with him. And Barrington not able to stay with him in either the second or the third periods.
Well, it's going to be really hard for Barrington to come back. They'd have to score at minimum 22 points, and Conant couldn't score a single basket. Hard to do in 8 minutes, so assuming Conant holds on to win this one, what can Barrington do to try to work on and get ready for more conference games until regionals?
I don't even know. They played so well in the first period, and then the lights went out in the second and third. Their scoring just dried up. They weren't able to get anything to fall. It looked like two different teams out there tonight.
Since the first quarter, if you can call it this, Conant is on a 43-20 run. It's a pretty darn good point differential after the first quarter of play.
20-9 in the third period.
59-38 is our score. And Perkins back in the game, and he looks tired. And this is a guy coming off the bench. I can't even imagine how tired Will Reinhardt is right now. Spann guarded closely.
Been out there battling. Great effort. They just cooled off after the first.
Doesn't help when you're trying to attack the paint all the time against Mike Downing. Man, is he good on defense.
He is.
Long arms, and you never really see him foul too much. And when he does, he gets kind of mad at the officials, like, what are you talking about? That was all ball.
What, me foul? No way.
Nah, then you must be mistaken. Todorov with the ball. And the senior gives it out to the junior Sotos. Sotos with 20 points. All of them have been earned. A lot of them have been contested shots as he's been able to fall. Oh, man, a beautiful spin move. Creates separation. Out to Downing.
Oh, slam dunk.
Downing gets his highlight reel up with that beautiful one-arm dunk. 61-38. Conant putting on a show for the home court.
20 points on the night for both Downing and Sotos.
I almost want to give Downing an extra point for that jam. Wasn't that something?
That was.
It looked like he was going to get fouled from behind, and to make sure that he didn't, miss the shot, he just picked the ball up with his left hand and dunked it in. One-handed dunk. I should say one-arm dunk because he palmed the ball and threw it in. 61-39 as Spann makes the first free throw.
A beautiful slam.
Well, it's been the Sotos and Downing show, but I really like the kind of decisions that Vincent has made. He hasn't tried to force any shots. When he knows the double is coming, he's been able to break through the double team and either find Downing inside or kick it back out to Sotos. Good job from Vincent at the 2 guard.
Battling interceptions there. Conant turns it over, and then Barrington gives it right back.
Back out to Vincent. Vincent drives. Vincent shoot it. Okay. It looked like he had an open floater shot, but the constant professional, Vincent tries to find the red-hot Downing, but they guarded Downing close there. Out to Vincent. Todorov fakes the shot, and they're just going to play clock now as this game's all but over. Under 6 minutes left as Vincent drives. Vincent has the layup.
And he's mugged. Nowhere to go with the ball.
But he just didn't have enough separation, and Perkins got back on D and blocked it from behind. Close by was Reinhardt.
Just overshadowed by 2 trees there in the paint. Nowhere to go with the ball.
We've seen a lot of minutes from Eli Polovina. Perhaps Tucker sees something from the man and maybe wants to use him going forward. Polovino didn't start tonight, though.
Always good to spread the minutes around a little bit, get you guys some experience.
Especially when you're losing this much. Try some new lineups and see what works. Polovina is a junior, so he'll be back next year. Unless, of course, the NBA comes a-calling.
Probably not.
Man, oh man, oh man. Jimmy Sotos, you are ridiculous.
Seeming to defy gravity on that shot. How long did he stay in the air before he shot that thing?
Wow, that was fantastic. It's so hard to try to determine how a player is going to perform at the next level. But Bruce, you got to think that Sotos will at least be a good Division III player, if not Division II or Division I. He just looks so good out there.
He is, and he's a pretty good football player as well.
Just don't get hurt, Jimmy.
Yeah, definitely going to be drawing interest next year. Good ball handler, good shot. What's there not to like for Jimmy Sotos?
I don't like the socks too much. He's got to get better socks. You just can't defend that, Bruce. A running floater, right-handed, on the left-hand part of the basket. I mean, technically you should be using your left hand for that. But he switches hands on the play to get the ball away from the defender. Soto's made that floater shot. Perkins with an air ball the other way. 65-39, and
Sotos only 6'2", but he plays much taller. And he's got the quicks.
He's got the quicks. He's not quick, he's got the quicks. I like that. I'm going to put that in my repertoire. Vincent draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
Glad to see him shoot one finally.
He's done a good job, Bruce. Really good job of not panicking and not committing turnovers when the double team came.
65-39.
You know, the 2 cards in the NBA, James Harden, Kobe, well, before this year, they get a lot of the glory when they make shots, but there's so much more to the position besides creating your own shot, and getting to the free throw line. It's also efficient passes and knowing what to do when you have the ball, besides just the offensive part of it.
And that's what Jimmy Sotos was doing in the first period. He didn't score very much, but he was creating for other people.
There's so much more to the game than points per game as a stat. Three-pointer shot, no good. As that one is saved.
Danny Ronaldo able to make the diving save.
It looks like McCormick called timeout. Sotos wasn't happy about it. He was like, "What? Come on, man! We're on the fast break." What do you think? Should Sotos get the rest of the game on the pine, or should Tom McCormick keep his star point guard out there to finish it?
I bet we see some more of Sotos. He's a guy that just doesn't like to sit down.
It's always a tough decision, Bruce, because we can never determine when an injury is going to take place. You could be out on the court for 40 minutes, and then you get hurt that 41st minute, or you could break your ankle 60 seconds into the game. So when is it a good time to think about benching your star players when you're up by more than 20 points?
Good question. With this much of a lead, you could put in the second team.
And we'll see what Tom McCormick does. Of course, we had the pep band playing in the background. They do a nice job, Bruce. They really do.
And Sotos has gotten off some very awkward-looking shots, but so far the junior's like Gumby out there. He just bounces back.
And they took our advice. Sotos is going to earn his spot on the bench. A well-deserved exit by Mr. Sotos.
Davis taking a seat as well.
Didn't hear a lot of him today, but they just didn't need to. Downing was so good, they didn't really need to use Ryan Davis. They just let Davis be on defense, which he's also good at, and that just helped down the stretch as he was able to contest Perkins and Reinhardt in the paint.
Corleverance DeShazer out there now for the Cougars. There's a mouthful.
What a name, huh? You don't have to be the greatest basketball player in the world, but you have to have a cool name sometimes.
That one's just hard to spit out.
Todorov guarded closely behind the arc. And then he starts dribbling. 34 on 34. Driving to the hoop, kicks it out to Downing. Offensive foul. As Todorov, who doesn't get that much minutes. And there was a charging called against. It looked like number 40 for Barrington. Quinn Alexander took it.
And Ray Nairo checking in for Barrington.
As both teams go deep into their benches to finish off this one. Well, I know that Barrington had a tough night tonight, but do you think if they just keep shooting in practice those long shots, that eventually they're going to fall in future games? Everything else that Barrington does works. They just can't get anything from the perimeter in these two games that we broadcasted.
The first period, they were getting everything now. The long shot, the close shot, they were slicing and dicing on the Conant defense, and then just went ice cold.
Is it just confidence? What's the word here? I can't think of the word. Cognitive, psychological. There we go, psychological. Is it all psychological where you see these Conant defenders contesting your shot, and then when you miss a couple, you just keep missing more and more and more? I mean, the shots were falling in the first quarter, and then after that, just not so much for Barrington. They had open looks, but...
They did, and they had good shots, and I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. They're just, like I said, it looks like they switched uniforms with another team after the first period and just haven't been able to get anything going after that.
So as Barrington's trying to get to the 40-point mark, that one's no good. On the shot was Spiegel. Everybody's off the court now, including Downing.
Again, not a bad look, just didn't fall.
Oducha drives, breaks through the D, but he doesn't have as good of a release for that floater shot as Jimmy Soto's does. And breaks through the D. And going to the line now, number 25, Ray Nero.
Danny Ronaldo picking up that foul.
25, that was Barry Bonds' number, right? Sosa was 21, Thomas was 35. Yeah, Bonds was 25. I think he's got to hit the weight room, though, a little bit more if he wants to be the next Barry Bonds.
And he buried the first one.
Oh, man.
And the second.
Steroids or not, Barry Bonds was maybe the greatest hitter I've ever seen. As breaking the defense now. Lost his dribble. And they're just going to try to play clock. I once saw him hit a home run to opposite field with one hand.
Really?
Barry Bonds. It was unreal.
Just a little fungo.
It was, and the guy who pitched the ball to him was Bartolo Colon, a pretty darn good pitcher in his own right. People can talk about Ken Griffey and Babe Ruth, but man, Barry Bonds, what a hitter. 68-49, and that shot is no good. Rebounded by number 50, Jake Parsons. He was fouled on the play.
Another Conant announcer with the benefit of the nickname, CJ DeSager. Not attempting the first name there.
And so Conant is 2 points away from the 70-point mark. Barrington now at 41. Parsons trying to make the 1-and-1 here. Well, there's no such thing as a perfect basketball game. Come on, Conant. You have 8 team fouls to Barrington's 4. Get it together. I'm just kidding, of course, but no one's perfect, and you can always work on something.
And this not the Barrington team we're used to from last couple of years.
Driving to the hoop. They have moments when they're a great team, Bruce, especially the passing. Quick passes to get it inside the paint. But when they don't hit shots on the perimeter, it just becomes like quicksand, where they just keep falling more and more and more in games. And they just can't seem to find a way out of it, like quicksand.
It's very much like the game we saw last week against Hoffman Estates. Hoffman able to stay with them for a quarter and then just faded down the stretch.
68-41, nice pass inside.
Oh, and they can't get it to fall.
I think that's just been kind of the night for the Broncos. Even when you have an open layup, doesn't fall through as the home crowd claps and cheers on their undefeated Conant Cougars. They're going to improve to 6-0 in conference play. And how about that? A turnover on purpose so that 2 more players can enter the game for Conant, including number 45, Armani Hustle Walker.
I suppose he's wearing Gucci. Did the coach have to prod him in there?
Oh my gosh. Stop. 16 seconds left. What great sportsmanship, huh, Bruce? The game's over, and you just do what you can to make sure all of your teammates get some playing time. You gotta love that.
And it's good for them to get in there, get a little bit of experience.
Everybody that's on the roster for a varsity basketball game deserves to know what it feels like to be on the court. I love to see that. As both coaches shake hands, Brian Tucker, good sportsmanship, as he could be really mad, he could be, stomping his feet, but the constant professional, he shakes all the hands of the Conant players as the Cougars improve to 6-0 in Midwest Conference, the Western Division. And Barrington falls to 1-5, but they're still a game over 500, Bruce. The talent's there, but they got to learn to make some shots from the perimeter.
All right. So tune in next week. We'll be at Hoffman Estates High School as the Hawks will be battling the Schaumburg Saxons.
Have a good night, everyone.